Welcome, everybody. We have a little business I think we're going to get to, and then we're going to get on with something that's very important to our community and some of the family members it pertains to here. So, first thing we have is approval of our November 23rd, 2015 regularly scheduled council meeting minutes. We'll need a motion to have those approved if there's any additions or corrections.
I'll make that motion.
Motion on the floor by Donnie. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimously. First item we have are Pierz Commercial Club annual dues. Scott, what do we got going there?
I had some.
Any additions?
Any additions to the?
Oh, we have the agenda. Yeah. Did we have everything on the agenda?
I didn't have any additions unless there's anyone here that has an addition.
If not, we'll need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion on the floor by Gina.
I'll second it.
Second by Mike. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Now we'll get to our commercial club dues.
So I actually have this under.
Big one.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna move them.
So in your package, you're gonna see the commercial club. Every year we do our annual dues with the commercial club. It's $100. I guess we've been doing this every year, so there's really nothing to explain for that.
Just the event.
To participate with the commercial club.
Just being that $100 again this year.
Correct.
I make a motion that we pay our annual dues to the commercial club for $100.
There's a motion on the floor.
I'll second that.
Second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Minnesota Power, letter agreement for service exception. What do we got there?
See in your packets, there's gonna be the agreement along with the maps. There's two different maps. So Bob and I talked about this. We're not gonna be able to get all of our lines and things like that, or whatever we're gonna do, whether we're gonna go overhead or underhead. I'm sure we'll go overhead, but we're not gonna be able to get that done before, due to the cold weather and freeze up and things like that and scheduling. So this is an agreement just stating that Minnesota Power will provide service at the Gutwell property until we are able to get our lines in place. And once again, it's just a map showing the area to make sure that it's got the correct area. It's not the best color map in the second one, but until we're thinking, I don't know, Bob, May, June, July.
2016 at some point.
Okay. Do we know exactly what we're gonna need there, being as though there isn't a active business there at this point?
There actually is an active electric account there, so at some point during 2016, we need to provide them with service. So exactly how we're gonna do that is not determined.
The electrical committee, we kinda talked about possibly doing just overhead, just to service that until we come up with a plan or a plat, or come up with something. If we go overhead right away, it can be changed or taken down, and once we've got a plan for that area, we can go underground.
Where does that lot service from right now?
Right now, it's running off Minnesota Power lines, but the agreement to take that property over for our service territory isn't finalized yet either with the state. So right now, this agreement just says that Minnesota Power is gonna serve it. You know, when that gets changed over to our territory, they're still gonna serve it
Okay.
until we run our lines from our system to that customer.
Where do we have to come from, Bob?
More than likely, there's a transformer on the south side of the Roach development, so more than likely, we just come up overhead right there, and then just put in 2 or 3 spans of overhead should get us to that building. And when it's time, if something does change in the future, we can just take those poles down, take the wires down, reuse it, you know.
Anybody have any comment, any discussion on that?
When was the actual turnover? Wasn't it the first, correct?
It's whenever the Department of Commerce approves the,
Wasn't there a tentative date on the first? I think it was.
yeah.
We will need a motion to approve the 2016 Morrison County Animal Humane Society contract, did we get that straightened out, Scott?
We did, yes. The initial amount was just over $4,000, it was $4,100. Comparing this to last year, it was $1,125. The rate went up to $3 per household at approximately $3 at 638 households in the city of Pierz. So that gives us the amount of the 1,914 in the second line you'll see in the contract. So yes, we did get the correction of the population and household, the correct number.
Chief, what did we figure that out to be for animal last year?
We don't wanna know this year. I wanna say I utilized it maybe once or twice at the most for 2015, so it's a service we're paying for that,
So that was $1,000 per animal.
yes.
Wow.
And the numbers that they keep pulling are off of Wikipedia, and I question them on, are they doing this to the townships and the other cities that aren't catching it? Cause we've caught it the last 2 years where they're trying to triple what we're paying. So it's been corrected, but it's just a rate that is very high for what we're using it for.
Yeah, I mean, if we take 2 or 3 up to even 5 animals a year there, we're lucky.
Right. Again, I don't know what Plan B would be, though, reference to.
We looked last year,
Yep.
there really isn't a plan B that's feasible for us either to have our own pound and things of that nature.
And meet the state standards of keeping the dogs so long, doing the public notification, so
Yeah.
it's the only thing we can do is through contract through them.
So we're caught between kind of a rock and a hard one on this one. Any comments from the council?
I can say a lot.
So you want people to have more strays so we get our money's worth? Is that what we want?
Here that maybe could help us in this area.
I want a few more run loose.
Yeah, you're right about that, Stephanie.
Scott, if we don't approve it, can we still, if we waited a month, that if I reached out to my police commission board to come up with a different idea?
I don't think would be a concern, because first of all, they just gave this to us, a week ago? And they wanted to, they say it's due to the 31st of this year. So I don't think that would be an issue.
We don't have another one.
I think we could wait
Correct,
a
and
little
I think, I
bit.
mean, we went, I believe, like I
The
said.
fee we paid last year, we still got a couple animals we could bring in yet. I mean, we aren't gonna run broke.
Can we table it, Mayor, and just, I'd like to talk to you and Mike about an idea that we maybe can look into?
We can put that out to the council and see if they'd like to table the request, and yeah, we can certainly sit down and see what we can come up with again.
So it went up, I think, at least $1 a household. I mean, what if we would try and get back to that 1,125 where we were at last year? It's 125 or 175, somewhere around there. At least try to get it back to what we've been paying
Alright.
prior.
Is there a motion to have this tabled?
I'll make a motion that we table this.
I'll second that motion.
Motion on the floor by Mike and second by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. We have our Energy Insights, that's our electrical rebate program, who actually helps us manage that program. Scott or John, you guys wanna elaborate on that? See what's going on with that program?
The main reason I wanted to bring this to council, just as we're approaching the end of the year, if you look at just below that first column of customer names and things like that, we are at approximately 51% of our goal, according to the state, and what they recommend us to reach for a goal is obviously double what you're seeing there, but we're approximately 51%. Now, with that being said, the Pierz schools with their new additions, along with both elementary and high school, if you look below on that table, there are a number of different rebates that they are, I guess, gonna be reaching out for. usually try, like, I think I stated this a couple meetings ago, between Energy Insights and the city, we've been trying to just maintain that C average. But I guess I wanna just make sure that the council knows this, where we're sitting, we're actively trying to reach our goal. Given we are a small city and we can't make
There's
that
only so much
completely
we can
possible,
do.
correct?
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's, you know, why the state doesn't have this as a mandate and they have this as a goal. Because I think it really is gonna depend on, you know, the city, the number of customers, how much we're paying for that. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's important that we continue to try and meet our goal. But obviously, you know, we can't, you know, we just had to raise rates 14%. A good portion of that rate increase was to help for the rebate program as well, to subsidize or supplement some of that. So, yeah, I mean, until something changes, or if it changes at a state level, I guess we just continue to try and meet our goal. You know?
So as of now, then, I'll just, communicate with Energy Insights that this will be our goal for the end of the year, and this will be where we're at. We'll continue then next, as in January 1st.
Yeah, start over. You know, there's only so many rebates you can do, and even, you know,
Well, I
next
think-
year, who remodels, I mean, continually, we may not hit 51%, it may keep, you know, dropping back.
And I think we're gonna need to meet as an electric committee, and kind of review what exactly the school, this was just sent to me recently, so I didn't have a chance to look at it too closely, but what the school is turning in for rebates and stuff like that, we might need to look at that, because we only budget, give or take $10,000, I think, is what our budget is yearly on rebates, and that's gonna go above and beyond what we're budgeting, so.
Okay, well, yeah, you guys can take a look at that. I mean, there's no action the council needs to take on any of this.
No, I just wanted to make sure you guys have an update of where we're at with Energy Insights.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is the Morrison County Attorney's contract. Eric, do you have any input on that?
It's just something we need to utilize what we do here at the city of Pierz, so something we do every year. They're great to deal with. So I urge the council to approve it and move it on.
Okay.
There's only one change, I believe, if you look at that page where it actually, is headed for Gina. He just states in that first paragraph that the loan material is changing from the previous contract. Is paragraph 5, which gives the attorney, whether or not to prosecute based on our city code, which I don't think we would have an issue with that at all. But that should be the only change compared to prior years.
That's as far as all the ordinances and things of that nature.
I make a motion that we renew our agreement with the county attorney for our prosecution.
There's a motion on the floor. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried unanimously. We have our alcohol and gambling enforcement application. Actually, this goes back to our 2 AM license. We're kind of talking about the same thing here.
Correct, it's an application for his
Yep.
2 AM license.
Right.
So his regular one is, it's just the 2 AM extension?
Yes, but it's this is like an addition to his current license, if you look at it's an alcohol gambling, enforcement application.
Well, I think the first thing is there's been some discussion, based on what we're gonna do with the 2 AM fees and our fee schedule, we'll come on to, first. Yeah, so I think that there's been some discussion about the 2 AM, we charge $300 annually. And if you take and you look at what it's costing our police force to police that 2 AM, certainly that's a lot more than $300. So, you know, I think it's my opinion, just my personal opinion, but I think the fees need to go up to cover the cost to the taxpayers for the 2 AM license. I mean, that's only fair.
liquor license coincide with the two AM.
It's a whole different thing. Need special permission for the 2 AM license.
We also, say we're having, and I don't wanna pick on just the one bar, say we have an issue with any of the establishments in town. And we're, you know, we have the right to give them a license or not, based upon if it's causing us too much trouble. How do you know, why, I just don't understand why
Well, there's
these
two
don't
different licenses.
coincide together.
Well, you have to have special permission to go from 1 AM to 2 AM. That's why you need the special license to go from 1 AM to 2 AM.
Right, but it should coincide with the regular liquor license time, is what he's saying, you know?
That's what.
Even if
The
it's
timing
special.
of it, is
Yeah.
that what you're saying, the
Yes.
timing of it? Oh, okay.
I'm just wondering why they don't coincide at
Yeah.
the same time.
I don't understand that either, cause that was, just kinda makes things more confusing, but our typical was, I believe it's in July, is when all the licenses come up for renewal.
Mike, I've been dealing with this all week, or last week, I'll call my contact back I'll call on gambling and see why that date is the way it is. They were very helpful in determining what's going on with this license to make it up to snuff, so I'll look for an answer and I'll let you know.
Well, I have a question on it. I just don't
Right.
understand why they wouldn't
I agree.
coincide.
Well, I don't know, Mike, if it's the application time when we gave the 2 AM, if that's what actually triggered
That's what
it.
I'm thinking, it is when it actually started, and then it just
Goes for
follows
calendar
that.
year for
Well,
that.
I think we should have it fall into sync, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that's something, that's.
Oh, yeah,
that's
if you
the
could
state
research
stands.
that, Eric, I'd appreciate that.
Well, what do we do with the 2 AM license in the meantime?
When does his expire?
Well, 12th.
He's on a grace period right now, I do believe.
We have a 30-day grace period as long as his liability is paid in full. I called the insurance company, he is paid up to date. So the state, per their rules, they allow a 30-day grace period. So he has 30 days from the 12th to get the license in. I've spoke to Donnie, he knows it's his fault to get it into the city so late that we can only do what we can do. So he knows he's, the circumstances, but he also knows that he is legal to keep the bar open until 2 o'clock.
Sure.
And I've explained this to both Toby and Mike since they're in the police commission.
That's until January 12th,
Yep. Yep,
and the
yep.
next meeting is on the 11th.
Our first meeting in next year.
Right.
Yeah, and he expires the next day, for the 2 AM.
So,
But
That's
he's good,
something-
he's good for New Year's Eve,
Right,
basically.
it's something that we can address if that's the case, but you just have to realize he's have to close the doors for 1 or 2 days, cause he's the one that put himself in this circumstance, not us.
Say, Mr. Mayor, different from the 2 AM license, as a police commission, would you guys kind of look into, I'm on the public health advisory, and they have that, beverage server training that they're trying to get all their bartenders to. And they bring it out to the area and look and see if you guys think that might be something we would like our bar owners to participate in before their next license.
I attended that training last month, so I'm a certified trainer, so it's something that I can discuss with public health.
Okay, that might be something
I think it's a
worthwhile
good
before their
idea, yeah.
next liquor license renewal.
Will do.
Thank you.
No, it's a good point.
Sorry, had to add that.
No, not a problem.
Well, and I think we should have a little time also. I agree that our $300 fee for 2 AM, being Toby and I sit on the police commission, I know the calls that our police department takes, and it's an added expense.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if we're gonna do the 2 AM and the bar wants to have it 2 AM and it's approved by the council and, we still have to police it, the taxpayers are responsible for that. So it's more of a privilege-based thing that I think, they should be, required to pay for.
so I would request that, give me some time to get an accurate number together before we move forward with anything otherwise. Correct?
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I would like to table it until January 11th meeting, and then we can come forward that night. I mean, then we're just a day ahead. I mean, he's okay until then. That way we have time to research and come up with some good
I can
decisions.
contact some of my
That's my motion there.
Okay, there's
Table till January
There's a
11th.
motion on the floor to table the 2 AM license until January 11th,
2016.
Your next regularly scheduled council meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Mike and seconded by Donnie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously.
That's possible. Talking about the next regular scheduled meeting, well, we will have one more this year, right? Or the week of Christmas, we're scheduled.
It would be, yeah, it would be the 28th.
We do it, but I thought we forgot, last year, I didn't think we did it.
Last year we did cancel that meeting, because it was just kind of more, where this is after the holiday. So I was.
What do we have for unforeseen things that are gonna come up, Scott? Or I shouldn't say, what do we have for unforeseen? What do we have for things that are gonna come up that we're gonna have to deal with in December?
There's one thing that's coming up, but it's not due until January 31st. It's up with the county. That's all I have right now that's on the table. So, but I can, just review that.
So it will be January 11th, February.
Thank you.
Next item we have is a Pierz Wrestling Club. That is their gambling permit, and that is for a raffle, I believe. Did I look at that correctly?
Correct, it's a raffle, I believe,
Like
at
Patrick's Bar and
Actions.
Grill.
Patrick's Bar and Grill. It's a single day.
Yes, March 19th.
We will need a motion to approve this permit for the Pierz Wrestling Club.
I'll make a motion to approve the gambling permit for Pierz Wrestling Club on March 19th at Patrick's Bar and Grill.
Motion on the floor by Mike to approve. Can we get a second? Second by Stephanie. All those in favor, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried unanimously. Christmas street lighting.
You're a dog. No, move on.
I think you missed one.
Yes.
He's
That's not concerns.
No, that's holiday street lighting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We took the fun out of Christmas.
Are you ready? You're ready.
Okay, no, I think at this time, before we move further, down the agenda, we're gonna go back up to the top and have a very special, evening, this evening, where, we actually have, Sue's Drive-In was celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, and we are very fortunate to have Sue and the family here, along with Senator Mary Kiffmeyer. We have Senator Gazelka here, and Representative Paul Creasure, who is here to, Ron, I'm sorry, Ron.
Hey, the last name's fine.
The first name was way better.
And we're very fortunate to have all these folks here along with the Sand family, so, we'd like to get Senator Kiffmeyer to, come up and, speak a little bit, on behalf of, Sue's Drive-In.
Just feel comfortable to stay there.
Got that one.
This one,
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Great to be here this evening. Really want to thank you for putting us on your agenda. I'm very proud that I grew up in Pierz, my hometown, and it means a lot to me. And it was my mother's idea, and my dad's construction that put together the original drive-in building that is still standing yet today. And so it started out as Al's Drive-In, of course, it's my dad's name. But my mom was the cook, my dad did the construction and the equipment, but the food is what the drive-in is most known for. The original recipe for the onion rings is still there today. Sue carries on. And so it started out as Al's Drive-In, named Sue's Drive-In of today. So we're really happy about that. Matter of fact, though, I was able to, my sister Jane is here today, who is the youngest of us 14. I'm the oldest of the 14 kids. We all worked at the drive-in. Kathy lives here in Pierz, is the second oldest of the family, Kathy, and then my sister Betsy. So there are 4 of the 14 that are here today, and we have a nephew Scott, who is here as well, son of the current owner, Sue. So we also have some of the previous employees as well, and I'm going to give an opportunity. But just to mention, this is the original, I know you have a TV camera, so I thought I'd hold this up for them. This is the original grand opening, 50 years old flyer for Al's Drive-In. Prices, by the way, burger and french fries in a basket, 55 cents. Banana splits, 45 cents. We know the value here. Ice cream is cheaper than a hamburger and fries, and open at 10 in the morning. So I thought it was really neat that we had this sort of a poster. I'll just hang it around for you to see. And so having this type of business, and I thought I would take the time though to read the resolution, because I tried to make it interesting, and so that it would kind of describe what it is. And just to let you know, this particular resolution is an official Senate resolution, so it's filed in the Minnesota State Senate in the archives. And so it will be recorded and always be able to be searched, so that's something really important. So Al's Drive-In is what it's always been to me. It's Sue's Drive-In, but because it's my dad. So whereas in 1965, John Alfred Al and Teresa Krushek Sand built and opened Al's Drive-In using half their garden plot in Pierz, Minnesota. Whereas the 14 children, Mary, Kathy, Claude, Jim, Bob, Neil, Gilletta, Betsy, Paul, Christine, Pam, and Mike, and Jane, worked with their parents at the drive-in. And whereas the drive-in has served its renowned homemade from-scratch onion rings and barbecue sandwiches from Teresa Sand's original recipes to such notables as Tom Cruise, Governor Jesse Ventura and staff, Mayor R.T. Ryback from Minneapolis, Star Tribune reporters, Brainerd Speedway racers, Camp Ripley soldiers, K-Fan radio hosts, who Sue tells me they regularly come, and after they do, she gets all the advertising on K-Fan radio. We thank you very much, K-Fan. Author John Sanford and thousands of Going North tourists. And the drive-in has committed to only serving the freshest, high-quality, and locally sourced foods such as Pierz Thielen Meats, which has earned the highest respect of returning customers. Whereas the drive-in was voted by travelers as a place to stop for food in Pierz, Minnesota, in the book Brainerd Bound, and in numerous other state and local publications. Whereas Al's Drive-In, later Sue's Drive-In, has been in continuous operation for 50 years. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate of the state of Minnesota that it recognizes the drive-in as an exemplary Minnesota business for continuously providing high-quality food and service for 50 years from 1965 to 2015. Be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Senate is directed to prepare an enrolled copy of this resolution to be authenticated by the Secretary's signature and that of the Chair of the Senate Rules and Administration Committee and transmitted to the Sand family. And so we have it today that we are able to present this resolution. And for the actual presentation, Mayor, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to have Sue and her family and our family come together and have you just stay where you are and just stand up where you are, if that's okay.